Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Weird World podcast. I'm Dean.
I'm Carrie.
We are going solo today.
Solo, duo, solo.
You know what I mean. Two solo. We have no kids here today, possibly because Carrie is breaking her vow to bring us only upbeat fare, and she's actually going to do something today that's a little more serious, a little more tense. And also, I don't know, maybe a trigger warning if you aren't a fan of hearing about children in danger.
Correct.
Okay. If you are a fan of that, you have something else wrong with you. But this is actually a pretty gripping and suspenseful story, but it does involve kids.
Yes, it does.
Take it away, Carrie.
Bunches of them. Okay, here we go. Ed, the school bus driver, driving a school bus. 26 kids, ages 5 to 14. They have been driven around in the burning hot dark for 11 hours, but they've only gone about 100 miles.
The burning hot dark. I like that.
No pit stops. They finally arrive at their destination, a rock quarry in Livermore, California.
That is in the Bay Area.
It is in the Bay Area.
Northern California.
Mm-hmm. It's 3:30 in the morning.
Kids shouldn't be up that late.
They shouldn't be. They're actually not in the bus at this point.
Oh.
They're in vans.
Oh.
The back doors swing open. There's two guys standing there. Ed, the school bus driver, is the first one told to get out of the van. One of the guys asks him for his name. The other one makes him take off his pants and his boots.
This is not going well. Wait, they've been driving for 11 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they never asked him his name in all that time. Not very friendly.
No. They hand him a flashlight and tell him to go climb down this hole. There's a ladder. Climb down the hole with the ladder in it.
Pantsless.
Pantsless. Well, I'm assuming he's got his boxer shorts on.
It's still pantsless.
Above the ground, the two guys there are basically roll calling the children, getting the children out of the vans. And as they step out of the vans, they're asking them for their names and their ages.
Did they start with AA run?
No, they don't know the kids' names.
Okay.
They're asking them for their names and their ages, and they're
see.
writing them down on an old Jack-in-the-Box bag.
Okay.
The kids are also stripped. I'm
No.
assuming down to their underwear. I don't know.
Well, I don't like to hear that.
And they're sent down the hole to join bus driver Ed. This hole, prison that they're into, looks like a moving van, but the sides and the ceiling are warped from the weight of the dirt around it because it's buried in the ground. Ed, the school bus driver, is immediately worried that it's just going to cave in, that the ceiling's going to cave in.
So there's dirt on top of it? So it's like almost like a tunnel almost, but formed by a
What looks like a moving van.
moving van.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So they've dug it a hole big enough for a moving van with dirt on top of it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Ed's also worried that they might suffocate. There's two air shafts, basically hoses that run above ground to a tree. Yeah. There are some mattresses on the floor of the moving van and a paltry amount of necessities. Some Wonder Bread,
Okay.
some peanut butter, potato chips, and some water jugs.
I want to be very clear that Wonder Bread is not a necessity, but I understand what you mean.
If it's going to keep you alive,
That's
it
true.
is. I like Wonder Bread. There were also some holes carved in the ground for toilets.
Ugh.
After all the kids got inside.
The ground being the bottom of the moving van floor.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. After all the kids were inside with school bus driver Ed, they heard metal plates being slid over the entrance that they climbed down. And then they didn't know this, but then the steel plate was weighted down by two 100-pound tractor batteries.
Yikes.
They are locked in there.
So they're not getting out.
Obviously, as you might imagine, the kids start begging to be let out, and some of them start screaming. Welcome to the Weird World
Oh
Podcast.
my God. Good tease, Carrie.
That's terrible.
It's very suspenseful, though. Are we going to find out what happened to these kids? What did happen to these kids? I don't like what might happen to these kids. I don't like them making them take their pants
I don't
off.
like any of this. I know. Well, it's 1976, Dean.
So you're going to tell us how we got here.
Yes, I am going to tell you how we
you.
got there.
Thank you.
July 15th, 1976, to be exact. Told you they were taken to Livermore, California, but they had been driven about 100 miles. So their journey started out in Chowchilla, California, which is in the Central Valley, near a town called Madera. Right? What else? Bakersfield-ish, Fresno?
Much further north of Bakersfield, closer to Fresno.
Okay, Fresno-ish.
Think central part, the upper central part of California. That's close enough for most of our listeners.
Yeah. And in 1976, it's pretty rural.
It still is pretty rural.
Well,
It's a small town.
but as I said, this is July 1976. We are in California. I was 10 years old at the time, BT Dubs. And California had some things going on in the 70s. 2 years before this, the Symbionese Liberation Army had kidnapped Patty Hearst.
Yes.
Big deal. Was that Berkeley? Is that where that happened?
Maybe.
I think she was a student at Berkeley, so probably.
I don't think it was Berkeley, actually. I don't know. I thought for some reason, I thought she went down to L.A. and did crazy shit. I don't remember. I was very young in 1974.
I was too. But I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. Yep. Here in Berkeley.
Okay.
Right here in my notes. I'm smart though, because I knew that.
They did that because they robbed banks and stuff like that. So she was the daughter of a William Randolph Hearst, heir to a former media fortune, owner of San Simeon, the gigantic mansion on the central coast of California. And she was kidnapped by this very radical group called the Symbionese Liberation Army and a civil rights group. And she had the worst case of supposed Stockholm syndrome ever and went and robbed banks with them after being kidnapped by them. Calling herself, what was her nickname? She had a new name. She gave herself a new name.
I forget what her new name was too, but didn't some people think maybe she was in on it?
Some people do.
Yeah. I don't know. That might be a good Weird World someday.
Okay.
Let's save it. Richard Nixon, who had been the president, also from California.
To our great
Whittier, born very near my hometown.
Yes.
For shame. He had resigned, as we all know. Charles Manson had only been in prison for about 5 years.
Wow. Little did he know he was just getting started with his prison trip.
The Zodiac Killer still hasn't been caught. And I remember this very well. Fault lines were cracking all over the state, and everybody in California was waiting for the big one.
Fault lines are cracking all over the state.
Yep.
That's a good line. I don't know what you mean by that, but I like.
Well, it's little earthquakes all over the place.
There was a big earthquake in '73.
Is that Silmar?
I think so.
Yep.
I don't know, but to go back to the Zodiac Killer had what, early '70s, late '60s, early '70s. So he hadn't been active for a while, but he was still a big deal in the mid '70s.
Yeah, people were still thinking about him.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you can get into it, but
No, I'm not.
okay. But I remember reading a long time ago, that some people suspected he might have something to do with Chowchilla, this very event we're talking about now. The Zodiac Killer may have been involved or the mastermind behind it.
Yeah, just that there were rumors
that
it was a possibility. So all this kind of stuff is going on in California, and poor little sleepy Chowchillas just minding their own business, tended their farms, going to school, this summer school, because it's July. But
yeah, it sucks to be summer school anyway, and then you get kidnapped.
Yeah.
I mean,
Chowchilla is basically an inland farming town. And when this event happened, as one might imagine, the world focuses on Chowchilla.
You've got 27 kids missing.
Who is not used to it.
En masse. It was massive.
There were I read 400 reporters in Chowchilla. That's one for every 10 people.
Wow.
About every 10 people in Chowchilla. Their population at the time was under 5,000.
Yeah.
This was the largest kidnapping ever in the United States.
Well, wouldn't a hijacking qualify? I guess an airline full of people would be more.
Hijacking was probably not considered a kidnapping. It's probably its own little category of crime. Only big category of crime, which we're also talking, this is the heyday of hijacking at the time. Presumably, 26 children, one adult man, the school bus driver had just vanished into thin air.
So I've got the date again. You told me, but
July 15th, 1976.
so they're driving home at late afternoon, presumably, or something like that. And okay,
Yes, I'll
you're
get
gonna
to
take us
all
through
of
that,
that
okay?
too.
Because I'm gonna need to start a timeline.
I know. I'm just giving you some information about Chowchilla.
Thank you.
The median family income there in
Okay.
Chowchilla at the time, just over $6,800.
What would that be today's dollars?
Do not know.
Not much.
Fun fact, presumably, this might have just be one of those stories, but a New York reporter who was flying out to cover the Chowchilla kidnapping, bus napping, flew into Los Angeles and took a cab from LA to Chowchilla. It was a 7-hour drive, and it either cost $400 or $1,000, depending on who you ask.
I bet 1,000, man. That's crazy.
But imagine if it was $1,000 and the median income of Chowchilla is $6,800.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Apparently, Chowchilla sprang up during the Great Depression because of Dust Bowl refugees heading west. So a lot of Okies ended up.
Derogatory term, Carrie.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Okies are just nice people from Oklahoma in my book.
At the time, it was a
I know,
derogatory term.
in the day. But so a lot of people who ended up settling in Chowchilla originally came from Oklahoma. Isn't that interesting? Did not know that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There will be other fun facts about
Thank
Chowchilla
you.
in
You can
here.
talk about John Steinbeck?
Nope.
Okay.
The current population, just FYI, like I said, 1976, it was under 5,000. Now they're up to 18,000 something.
Nice.
Yep.
Rapid growth. Someone read the Wikipedia page for Chowchilla, it sounds like.
I did. The official Chowchilla website
My Lord.
has some interesting facts about Chowchilla. There was an arch built there. It's all about fires. Arch built there in 1913, but it burned down in 1937, possibly because of hobos.
What? Also a derogatory term.
Yes. The first custom grain elevator in California was built there in 1916. It also burnt down.
Damn, things burned down. We're getting back to the kids, right? At some point.
Eventually.
All right.
And the Hotel Chowchilla had suffered many fires as well.
Wow.
This
Is
is
there
all
an arsonist in Chowchilla in the
interesting facts
70s?
about Chowchilla. Yes, they have problems with fires there.
Okay.
So anyway, those fun facts about Chowchilla, I don't think their website talks about the fact that it was the site of the largest kidnapping for ransom in American history.
No, they leave that out when they're talking about things burning down. They're okay to talk about the hotels and shit burning down, but kids being kidnapped, they're going to draw a line.
But if they did, they would have to say it was not only the largest kidnapping for ransom in American history, it was also one of the most idiotic crimes ever concocted.
Should we cue the crazy, dumb criminal music here?
No.
Okay.
And when we get into that part, it literally sounds so stupid. It's probably made up, but it's not. It all happened. Okay, so now we're back to our normal July afternoon. It's summer school, 1976, July 15th. Ed Ray is the bus driver. Great guy. He's about 55, stocky, but he's a farmer. He hauls around bales of hay. He's just super nice guy.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, wore underwear on that day. Can you imagine if it had been a banana hammock or something like that? That would have been more embarrassing.
Well, he's a rancher, and he's married to a bank teller named Odessa.
It's a pretty name.
He's actually from Merced, but he went to high school in Chowchilla, so he decided to stay there. He is actually a second-generation Californian born to Okie parents.
You're going pretty easy on that word. I'm not sure.
He didn't have a great education. He could hardly read or write, but he was, like I said, super nice guy, super trustworthy guy, and he was good with numbers. Oh. So on this day, the bus was pretty rowdy. It was summer school, and the kids loved him. He was patient, and it sounds like he kind of let them have fun on the bus, but he was reliable and always on time.
As long as they shared the weed with him, he was fine.
These are kids ages 5 to 14.
Like I said,
No.
I stand by it.
The kids had a great day. They actually had been to a swimming pool. So it was that kind of summer school day.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And they're, having a good time. Some of them are even singing on the bus ride home. Okay. And I guess there had been a petition going around Chowchilla. 65 people signed it. They wanted to keep summer school going for another 3 weeks.
That's a terrible idea.
Well, these are parents. Please keep our kids in summer school for another 3 weeks.
Of course. Mama gotta watch your soap operas.
And I guess Ed was joking and betting with some of the two of the younger kids. They were a brother and a sister, that the extension wouldn't happen and they wouldn't get to go to school for 3 more weeks. And then he dropped those 2 kids off. They ran through the cornfields to go home and tell their mom all about the bet they made with the bus driver.
Were they children of the corn? Did they later? No.
Apparently. So Ed lets the kids off that run through the cornfield, and then he turns onto Avenue 21. He saw a white 71 Dodge van blocking the road with its door open. He tried to go around it, and then a guy came out in overalls, had pantyhose covering his face, which is always a bad sign.
Yeah, you don't stop. You're in a bus. They're in a not bus. You just run them over.
Correct. But he jumped out in front of the bus with a gun in his hands.
Again, he's going to lose that fight.
Yeah, but you got to be careful.
I guess he didn't know. Ed didn't know.
And Ed was already driving slow because he had just turned on to the street. So the man walked up to Ed's window and said, in kind of a very nice, not threatening manner, would you open the door, please?
Would you have some Grey Poupon?
So Ed opened the door.
Oh, Ed.
The guy had a gun.
Done it.
He didn't want one of the kids to get shot.
I suppose. Okay, Ed, I take it back.
2 more guys dressed just like the first guy, overalls and pantyhose over their heads.
It's a good look.
Jumped into the school bus.
That is a country music group right there.
What?
Overalls and pantyhose. I mean, that's the outfit they'd wear in Nashville, I'm thinking.
One of the guys had a rifle. So one had a revolver, one had a rifle. And the rifle was pointed at Ed, the bus driver. So everybody, including Ed, they all moved to the back of the bus because they were worried. They wanted to get away from the guns, I'm assuming. The guy with the rifle starts to drive the school bus. And the one with the revolver hopped into the 71 Dodge van to follow them.
From what you said earlier, I'm surprised that one of them could drive a school bus. It would have been like, oh my God, did no one know how to drive a bus? Ed, get up here.
Yep. Well, they drive about a mile, and then they park the bus in a bamboo thicket to hide it.
They have bamboo thickets in Central Valley of California? I did not know that. I'm not going to lie.
Apparently. It sounds like something they'd have in 2022. It doesn't sound like something they'd have in 76.
Bamboo thicket? I don't think they'd have one ever.
Well, they did. So everybody gets out. It was very calm. Everybody stayed calm. The kidnappers, they're not yelling. They're not threatening. They take 12 kids and they put 12 of them into the white van that they drove there.
How many total kids again? You tell me
26.
6, okay.
And then remember I said 2 kids, or one guy was driving the bus. The other guy was driving the white van.
Okay.
Apparently there was another van because there's a third guy. And they put Ray and the other 14 kids into the second van. This one was a green van.
Okay. Yeah, there has to be a third guy. Who's going to play spoons in the band? No. Okay.
There was a partition between the driver's seat and the back of the van.
Yeah.
And all the windows are sealed. They're all blacked out. It was super hot and super dark in those vans. Just imagine it's heartbreaking.
To have those kids locked in.
They
must be already terrified.
Exactly.
So are they, I'm assuming they're all armed and they're, okay. And their kids are old enough to understand guns.
Well,
the older ones.
Sure, but we've got 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds on these vans too. But And we're going to be lucky if I can get through this without crying,
Well,
guys.
I think that's an unlikely event.
Some of the kids start to sing songs to cheer them up.
Say they were doing something.
I got 3 examples.
Oh, okay.
If you're happy and you know it.
Happy not okay.
Sure. Even the 5-year-olds know that song.
Mm-hmm. This Land Is Your Land. That was very popular then.
No, we got to think 76 now
Yeah.
for the rest of these.
Okay. Now it's too early for We Don't Need No Education. How about anything
the height of-
from Houses of the Holy, Led Zeppelin?
Boogie Fever
Boogie Fever.
and Get Down Tonight.
Oh my! Wait, isn't that the same song?
Maybe we'll play snippets for you guys.
So the kids are singing early disco in 1976
Yes.
while they're being kidnapped. These kids have some gumption.
Yes. Like I said, bus driver Ed Ray was dependable, reliable, and always on time. So very shortly after these kids did not get dropped off and pass through their cornfields or whatever to get to their homes and say, Mom, I'm home. Where's my popsicle?
Yeah.
Their parents were getting worried. So parents knew immediately. And this is 76. So moms are probably home waiting for their kids to get home. Like literally within 15 minutes of your kid's not home, you're worried.
And they call the police that quickly?
Mm-hmm. So everybody starts calling. Everybody starts looking around. CBs are a big deal in 1976,
right.
and probably especially in the Central Valley of California.
Let me explain what those were. CBs were citizen band radio. They were sure, I don't know what they were, but truckers used them.
Yes.
And there was a time in the 70s where regular people started putting them in their cars and making ass of themselves
And
by
you know
having
why?
a handle.
You know why?
In the same way people make ass of themselves on TikTok and Twitter.
But why did people like my father get a CB
Mine
radio?
too.
The hit song Convoy.
Convoy. Yeah. That
Maybe
probably
we'll
was the
play
reason,
a
wasn't
snippet
it?
of that too. Huge song. Fun fact, written by an advertising guy in New York City
Really?
who didn't know anything about trucking and convoys, I'm sure.
Music.
People started driving all over the county.
Can they, listeners, in just in case, just so you know, Carrie and I are having cocktails right now, so this
We are.
may degrade.
No, it's not. So, like I said, people started driving all over the county looking for the bus and the kids and Ed. By about 6:30, so this is about 2.5 hours since anybody had seen the kids.
Oh my gosh! So there should be lots of police. I mean, there's a big, 20-some kids go missing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god!
Huge. The sheriff's department has an airplane flying around looking for them. And then actually not too long after that, within a couple of hours, the bus is found in the bamboo thicket by a police sergeant. It's empty. There's 0 clues. There's nothing left in the bus to go on. Could you imagine if you're one of those parents? Oh my God, I'm going to cry again.
I could not.
So that night, all the kids' parents, they gather in public buildings, just not knowing what to do. Also, fun
As a
fact.
group, like in church or something like that.
I don't know what group.
Okay.
There were thunderstorms and the power went out.
Oh man!
So
makes it
that
much
night,
worse.
people are home. Everybody in Chowchilla knows about this. Everybody's got their kids at home, and
So literally,
the lights are out.
A large chunk of Chowchilla's children are missing all in one fell swoop.
Yep.
And they have no idea. They find a bus that's just been hidden away. That's it. They have no, you can't even
So it's
guess
like-
at that point. So we already know from your teas
Yes.
something and what you've described, but they had
Yeah.
absolutely no clue
Nope.
what happened. They think they could all have been murdered in a field somewhere.
Here's a couple quotes. There was great fear of a serial killer. People formed a search posse on horseback, and they were just afraid they were going to find bodies.
That's exactly. I hate to say it, but that's the first thing you think. You wouldn't think mass kidnapping. It's just so far from possibility.
That was, I think, the person that said that, I think it was a nephew of Ed Ray, the school bus driver.
Okay.
This is just a state trooper's wife in 1976. She said, we thought it was UFOs, and it seemed like it
Okay.
had to be. No way it could be anything else.
Not
Because it kind of was like they just vanished,
okay,
right?
but
27 people
yeah, no, absolutely.
just disappeared into
Incredible
thin air.
mystery. Maybe not UFOs though. Not the
Oh,
only
I
possibility.
don't know. We kind of go to aliens quite often.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what though? You would think though. Who was that? Who said that?
A state trooper's wife. Didn't know
Okay,
who it
not
was.
because a real parent of one of those kids would not think
Oh,
that.
absolutely not. No.
That's
Well, I
nonsense.
don't know, but
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't think that.
I would think more likely radioactive Yeti. I would think possibly some kind of a Children of the Corn
Yeah.
scenario, perhaps.
I don't know,
I
but-
know there were Children of the Corn in the area. So
But
it's
like
possible.
you said, Charles Manson had only been in prison for about 5 years. Zodiac Killer had
Yeah.
been active and hadn't been caught. So I'm sure there were a lot of people fearing this is some kind of weird serial killer.
And I'm going by memory here, but I believe the Zodiac Killer, in one of his letters in the early 70s, threatened to kill. This is not kidnap, but he says maybe one day I'm going to go and just
Yeah.
open fire on a bunch of kids getting out of the bus and a bunch of school kids. So I think there was some serious consideration that person was involved and he maybe did kill these kids.
Yeah, I didn't really read anything about that, but Gerald Ford was the president at the time. He gave all law enforcement agencies basically a blank check. Do what you need to do, find these kids.
I'm assuming they brought the FBI in.
California's governor, Jerry Brown,
Why are you laughing?
just because
Okay.
I like Jerry Brown, but he was the governor in 1976. And
Much
then,
younger than he's governor again.
Yep, he became
decades
governor
later.
again, yeah.
One of the weirdest second acts in the history of politics.
Yeah, but basically he did the same thing. And of course, every white van in
Yeah.
California spotted by somebody got called in
Wow.
to the cops. Same thing, any random weird thing involving
Windowless
a kid.
van. They did, luckily, though, they were able to capture 16 pedophiles in that sweep. So
Yeah.
just because they're.
Well, the FBI did come to town, and in fact, they booked every room in Chowchilla's 2 motels.
That hadn't burned down.
Yeah. And then, obviously, like we said before, reporters, TV crews, everybody was there. I'm sure it was an absolute media circus. You can see footage. There's some Sacramento history thing has a YouTube
And shows some
video
news
up.
coverage of it.
And it's just, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it just looked like a lot of video, like a lot of it silent, even video footage at the time. A lot of kids on bikes standing behind going riding behind reporters and looking at the camera and
Wouldn't
stuff
you?
like that. But
Every draws
Sure,
crowds
yeah.
of especially kids in any kind of event
Yeah.
like that where people are gathering.
yep. And like you said, rumors. One rumor was revenge on the town by San Quentin inmates. I don't know why. What
Well,
Chowchilla had
he
to
was
do.
Australian. He was an inmate, and it was said that he hated Chowchilla. So what? There was somebody who just didn't
I
like
don't know.
Okay.
International terrorists was one. Aliens, and then the Zodiac Killer, like we talked about.
No one really thought aliens.
That one.
But
Troopers wife did.
kidnapping or kidnapping ransom wasn't like a forefront theory right away, was it? I mean, it was hours and hours, and there's no demand or anything, so you wouldn't go there. I wouldn't.
There
think.
was no demand, so no, you wouldn't
Yeah.
think that, because if somebody's gonna
They're gonna-
kidnap,
pretty quickly. you'd think.
yeah, they were actually hoping though that
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Oh, for sure.
The police did get a call around 7:00 that night from an anonymous woman who directed them to the quarry in Livermore.
What?
Yep. It said Livermore can become famous, but they didn't know who she was.
That's weird.
Later that night, the mayor, his name was Jim Dumas, his wife got a call from another anonymous woman who said, "The children will be found, but there will be others. It's not over." Mm-hmm.
Are you going to explain that later?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I know
Well-
I know the bare bones of this
Yeah.
story, but I don't know the details.
So about 100 miles away, like we said, those 26 kids and Ed were still buried in that moving van, sweating, crying,
Yeah,
trying to breathe.
with 2 hoses, that's not sufficient.
Nope. And the police still have no idea why, no motive, and no ransom note.
Well, what did they do when they heard about the Livermore quarry? Did they go there and investigate?
Why
Why
I
would
don't
they
think
not-
so.
Why would I mean?
Because it seemed like they literally, the phone lines were jammed.
Oh, so that's just
they
one of
were getting
many.
hundreds of calls.
Okay. God. So all you douchebags, you fake psychics who go call in and say, and there you'll be found near water. and land also. And stop. You're evil. Because this is what happens.
They didn't get a ransom note because the kidnappers forgot to deliver one.
And didn't know how to write.
They did try to call in their ransom demand, but the phone lines were jammed.
Oh, my God.
With 1 million people calling in. The sheriff's department had one phone line.
Oh, well, normally that's enough.
Yeah. Yeah, not this day. And eventually they got, Pac Bell got involved or whatever, and they did, when the FBI got involved, and I think they installed like 30 or 40 lines or something like that. But by then, the kidnappers had given up.
So they go to Livermore, drop them off in that quarry and bury them at quarry, and then they go to wherever their base is and start trying to make phone calls to make a ransom demand.
Yep.
Okay.
And then they shit their pants and don't know what to do next.
If I can mail ransom demand, hopefully it'll get there next day.
Who are these kidnappers, you ask?
I am asking that.
So the ringleader of these wacky band of kidnappers is Frederick Newhall Woods IV.
Jesus.
He's 24 years old. He's described in some articles that I've read as a funny-looking kid with long gold hair and a goofy mustache. Honestly, he looks like a young man in the 70s.
Yeah, but
they were all goofy looking. If
his middle name is Newhall.
Yes.
The fourth, okay, that's extra. But Newhall, that's just qualitatively wrong.
You'll learn a little bit about this guy. His middle name, Newhall, comes from Henry Mayo Newhall.
Of the Mayo Clinic, or the person who invented mayonnaise?
I don't know if it's Mayo Clinic, but Newhall is an importante surname.
Okay, there's some good international vibe going on here, Carrie. Importante, in might for our Australian listeners. That's good.
Well, Henry Mayo Newhall apparently came to California in 1850 with gold miners to strike it rich, and he did. Yeah. In land and railroad speculation, he formed the Newhall Land and Farming Company.
Newhall Ranch.
Huge. Yep, which his children incorporated in 1883. By 1976, the family was making $80 million a year in 1976 money.
Yeah, that's $4 billion a year.
$370 million
that's close.
Today. And they were ranching oil and land.
Yeah, that's some big cash. So this guy is from that family.
Yes, that family. Henry Newhall's land became Santa Clarita in Valencia, California. And then the community of Newhall, which was named after this guy.
That's north of Los Angeles.
Correct.
For our listeners.
Yep. Not my favorite place of Southern California.
No, because favorite place of Southern California. It's very hot, very white.
It's hot. So Fred's dad.
Hot and white. Carrie's not a fan of either one of those things.
No, I'm not. Fred's dad was Frederick Newhall Woods III. He owned a rather large estate in a wealthy Bay Area town. I never heard of it before doing this research. Portola Valley.
It's kind of not San Jose, but kind of Silicon Valley-esque, but in the hills. Correct. It's super high. Now it's multi-million-dollar homes. One
of the wealthiest cities in the entire country.
I don't even say even really a city. But it's a designated area, It's like I don't think it's incorporated.
I looked it up.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
Real estate is in the multi-millions.
Yeah. Now I'm sure it's tech bros, D-bags.
Yeah.
Who live there now.
Their estate had a name, so it's one of those called the Hawthorns.
Anybody can name. We're gonna name our house right now. We'll call our house Kevin, and boom, sounds rich, doesn't it?
No.
Okay. Whatever.
79 acres.
That's nice.
That's large.
In Portola Valley.
Yes.
We've been worth literally worth tens of millions of dollars now.
Fred lived there with his dad, Fred, and his mom, Frances, and Fred's mom, which would have been our Fred's grandma. She was lucky to live in a cottage on the property.
Okay.
But she did have a nurse 24/7.
A 6,000 square foot cottage.
Mm-hmm. Our Fred IV, he lived in an apartment garage around the back. Okay. He's 24. The way the wealth of Portola Valley was characterized in an article that I read as "fuck you money."
Okay. That's a weird way to say it.
And
okay.
today, well, because you got so much money, you can say "fuck you."
No, I know what it means.
Okay.
But it's just,
Let me explain this to you,
how
Dean.
I mean, it's a wealthy area. Okay.
So this is
So all wealthy areas are fuck you money. Okay.
well, this is wealthier
Lower
than
Manhattan,
most.
fuck you money.
Anyway, Fred Newhall Woods the fourth, he watched the movie Dirty Harry
Oh, that's never a good thing.
with my pal Clint Eastwood.
Big fan of Clint Eastwood, mostly for that movie about a Camaro, but yeah,
Just kidding, I hate Clint Eastwood.
we know. We everyone listening can probably figure that out.
In Dirty Harry, a guy happened to hijack a school bus in the Bay Area.
Oh my God.
I believe San Francisco.
You know, I did see that movie. I did not realize that was connected.
And he asked for a ransom and a flight out of Santa Rosa before fleeing to a quarry and holding a kid at gunpoint.
What the hell?
Yep.
So Clint Eastwood caused these children
Probably.
in Chowchilla to be kidnapped and
I
terrorized.
think so.
Okay. Well, good job, Clint. Thanks a lot, bro.
Fred's kind of a loner. He's lazy. Doesn't apply himself at school. Doesn't talk to girls much. Although at one point he was married for a few months.
Before this?
Probably.
Well, yeah. Probably going
Clearly.
to have to be.
But Fred did have one thing going for him.
Yeah, that was, he had a family of millionaires. But
A trust fund
Yeah, okay.
that maybe was worth around $100 million.
Oh,
something
my
like
Lord.
that.
In
Yeah.
the 19, oh my God. So he was
Not
filthy
bad.
rich.
And apparently he had an institutionalized sister that he had to share it with, but that he didn't acknowledge.
Was this the Kennedys?
It sounds very similar, doesn't it? That's all we know about this sister. That's it.
Really? She was a little erratic and boisterous. Hey,
I know.
put her in this home. God damn it.
I know. I wonder.
Hysterectomy and a lobotomy.
Yeah, I was
Next.
going to say. But Fred loved cars. Man, Fred loved cars. He had some number over 50
Jesus.
on his parents' estate. A lot of them were junkers, but probably a lot of them were not. Yeah. He loved his cars so much, he carried pictures of them in his wallet. But for some reason, he'd also, for fun, shoot out the windows with guns.
Okay. This is
Weird.
a stable person who I don't think anybody should have. There's no red flags here.
But his entire life and reason for being is buying, selling, and repairing old cars, which, you know, he really could have turned into something worthwhile.
Yeah.
But as we said before, Fred is kind of lazy.
So rather than doing that, he decided to kidnap children. Life choices.
His little buying, selling, and repairing cars, his little business that he's got with his friend, James Schoenfeld.
James.
We'll call him Jim.
Jim.
He's also 24. He is the son of a wealthy Atherton podiatrist.
Oh my God.
Atherton is another little
Very well affluent.
Bay Area.
Same area. Also, I mean, very affluent then, but now nothing. You have to be a multi-millionaire to even think about living there.
Well, Jim's dad is a podiatrist, so he probably doesn't have the fuck you money that.
No, it wasn't as
the
like it is now
Newhalls
in the tech era.
Yeah. And they also allow James' little brother Rick to kind of hang out with them. He's 22. And they all kind of hang out at Fred's house. Fred has another friend named David Boston. David is a film major at San Jose State. And Fred and David started a little partnership in 1972 called Townhouse Enterprises, a little film enterprise. And their idea is that Fred will flip cars, buy junkers, fix them up, sell them, and then use
fund
the
films?
riches, to finance film student David's
to make movies,
little film projects.
Little films. Okay, what kind of movies does he make?
They're going to be producers.
Okay,
They got big dreams.
Snuff
no
films
idea.
Are
No idea.
nature movies.
This is in the 70s. So Fred writes a letter
Porn.
to his friend David because, he's all the way in San Jose.
Yeah. a letter.
A letter.
All right.
He thinks he's got a great idea and it would make a good movie.
Dear David.
This idea Fred comes up with after watching Dirty Harry.
Okay.
And he wants to come up with the perfect crime, heisty kind of movie of his own.
Here's my idea. He just lays out the plot of Dirty Harry. Okay.
So he starts talking about this big idea with Jim and Rick while they're working on cars. This is how the great Chowchilla school bus kidnapping is hatched.
So they're talking about doing it themselves. Why do they need to do it themselves to make a movie?
They need money.
Oh.
They're all wealthy.
Okay.
But Fred
But I
doesn't
thought
have access
okay.
to his $100 million trust fund, and the other kids are,
So I thought the movie was something to do with the kidnapping, or the movie was going to be about that. No.
Well, they think it would make a good movie.
Okay.
And Fred is
Well,
taking
that's like life imitating art, imitating
Correct.
life. I don't know. It's confusing.
yeah,
Something like that.
yep, art imitating life, imitating art.
Sure.
Basically.
I'll take your word for it because I'm lost.
But Fred is very serious about all of this. He thinks he's a genius, I'm sure.
Of course he does. He's rich.
And he thinks if he comes up with a good enough heist, he can fund the movie with Townhouse Enterprises, and the movie they make, he'll make twice as much money
sure.
from the movie as he has to put into it from the cash he gets from his heist.
Yeah, that's just math. There's no question. This is flawless.
So Fred's the leader.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
boy, is
That's
he a good one. Jim is the planner.
I'm guessing there's a lot of weed in this.
I'm guessing there is too. And Jim is the planner because he likes to write things down. He's got notebooks.
Okay, that's good. He's literate.
He's got notebooks and he keeps a diary.
You plan. You can write things. You write symbols on paper that mean things.
Yep.
Me no understand those things.
And Rick is just kind of there.
Rick's just along for the
by.
ride that's going to eventually take him, I'm assuming, to
much.
prison.
And they all want money and they all want cars. They want better cars than they have.
Wait, you
Because-
left out a key part of this.
All of their wealthy friends have better cars than they do.
Okay, money, cars. What's the third part, Carrie? Chicks,
Drugs,
baby. Drugs, sure, but chicks. You gotta have money, cars, and chicks. Because money and cars, you know what money and cars get? Chicks.
They need a lot of money. And who's got a lot of money
Chowchilla?
in 1976?
Parents? No, that doesn't make any sense.
Not Chowchilla.
Wait, hold on. Don't. Who's got a lot of money in 1976? I'm gonna go with, the Hearst family. No, who?
They could kidnap a
Like a
billionaire's
billionaire.
kid.
Yeah. They weren't
But
getting billionaires, but
That's a little bit difficult.
okay.
No.
Yeah, you're right.
Who else has money? Who else has gobs of money?
The government?
The government.
No way, I got it right.
Apparently, because Jerry Brown is the governor now,
Uh-huh.
but who was the governor before Jerry Brown?
Ronald Reagan
Ronald Reagan. What did Ronald Reagan do?
put all the insane people on the streets.
That too. 1974, a couple years before this.
Said trees cause smog. What else? Literally said trees cause smog.
Yeah, we've had some good governors in California. Ronald Reagan announced that California had a $5 billion budget surplus.
It turns out that was not true, by the way.
So these guys figured California's rolling in the dough.
Oh, my God.
They got the money.
That was their thought process. California has money. We'll kidnap a bunch of kids and ask California to give us money.
Yes, because everybody cares about kids, right?
That's fair.
Yep. They want, and what's the government's job?
To
Keep the kids
pay
safe.
rents. Okay.
The schools, right?
I was
Their
gonna go with
number
pay
one
ransom, but
job.
yes. Yeah, you're right.
Don't let the kids die
Okay.
when they go to school.
That's a good slogan for a campaign right there. I won't let the kids die.
They figured California's got more money than they need, right? They got a $5 billion budget surplus, according to that really smart actor guy that I was not around at the time.
All right.
And I know for a fact
You're getting a little salty now, Carrie.
my
You're getting a
mom
little
did
salty.
not vote for him. She hated him.
Yes. Yeah. It's a communist.
So Jim, no, she was a school teacher.
Okay. Same thing.
And he came to, I think he was running for governor or whatever, and he came to speak to a teachers union meeting or whatever. And my mom thought he was the biggest idiot on the
She
planet.
kicked him right in the nuts.
Well, no, she didn't do
I
that.
can't imagine her.
So anyway, Jim, the guy who liked to write in notebooks and
yes,
stuff.
okay. The planner, the
Yep.
literate guy.
He said they won't miss $5 million, right?
Well, what do you think they're gonna get the ransom on the down low? Like no one's gonna. I mean,
And he thought, how can I get this money? How can I get all this money to solve all of my problems? The only thing I could think of was a kidnapping. Sure, that's what I think of. But they knew they wanted millions, multiple millions. So they would have to have multiple victims, right?
are like you said, a super rich kid. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they decided against that.
Okay.
They knew that wasn't
It's
a good idea.
easier to kidnap 26 children than one rich kid.
Well, but they thought, schools, jobs, was to
not-
keep kids safe.
Okay.
And
Okay.
they would do, people would do anything for kids.
It's in a horrific way. There is a logic behind that.
There is a logic behind them, and they figured that, the state of California would pay that ransom, no problemo. So, and they also figured they needed at least $1 million to fund this Dirty Harry Light movie they were going to make with their best friend David. So they figured something like a bank robbery or a drug deal, they wouldn't be able to make enough millions, right? Doing something like
yeah,
that.
that's true. That's true. That's fair.
Yep.
Did they cast the movie at all?
No.
Was David Soul of
We didn't
Stars
get that
Ahead? No?
far.
I'm assuming no. Because I think
So you ask, why do these rich kids, these are 3 rich kids.
Yeah.
Why do they need to commit crimes to get money? Well, they didn't have a lot of cash, obviously. Fred didn't have access to his $100 million trust fund. And they had already borrowed a lot of money from their parents for their various business ventures. And
all failures.
pretty much. And they wanted their own freedom and they wanted some respect. And, these are kids from Atherton and Portola Valley. All of their friends and their friends' parents have more than they do. And most importantly, have cooler cars than they do. They want Ferraris.
Oh, they want some Ferrari. Okay.
They need $5 million so they can all buy
So a
Ferraris.
critical point of this is to get Ferraris.
Correct.
Okay.
From
And
James.
no one would notice that they suddenly have Ferraris. That
Oh.
all of them suddenly have Ferraris after there's this big kidnapping in which $5 million is paid. Okay.
They weren't thinking that far ahead.
Okay.
Jim wrote a bunch of stuff down in his notebook.
That's his job, Carrie. That's what he does.
Here's what they're going to need. A bus,
Okay. Oh, I thought I was going with Ferraris, but okay.
a plane,
A
and
plane?
3 yes, and 3 vans because they got to escape afterwards.
A plane. Okay.
They needed 1 van to get Fred and Rick to Chowchilla for the bus hijacking, 2 more at a hidden location to transport the kids from the bus to the quarry.
Okay. So far, so good.
Rick and Fred were going to board the bus, which they did. Rick would disable the driver with chloroform, which they didn't end up doing.
No. That's much harder than people think than the movies make it look like.
And then Fred would drive the bus to the hidden location where Fred would keep an eye on the bus. Rick would escort the kids 2 by 2 to the vans where Jim would be waiting, and they would watch for the kids who might make a run for it. And,
Into the cornfields.
and then count the kids! Exclamation point.
Oh, I see. So in case if one escapes, yeah.
Yeah.
Their plan is in
Yep.
trouble.
And then they needed to conceal the kids, hide the vans, go somewhere else to collect the money. From there, Rick was supposed to get a plane to take James to a small, uncontrolled airport like Lodi. We know what happens in our Lodi airport.
No.
Lots of
Do we?
skydiving.
Okay.
Don't like it. They like float over the freeway and
It makes
it's
you nervous.
dangerous.
Does
It makes
make-
me very nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, a young woman just died not that long
Did
ago.
she? Okay, I
Yes,
didn't know that.
because she landed on a truck on the freeway.
What?
Yes.
Well, that's a terrible idea.
Okay, so
Let's talk more
uncontrolled.
about this Lodi skydiving thing going on.
I know. They'll meet Fred, who will hijack the plane.
I feel like they're leaving some big parts to just stuff, and then stuff happens.
Yep. Because for their escape, they're going to have to hijack a plane.
Okay.
And then Rick and Fred load the dummies into the plane with parachutes
Wait.
and an extra parachute, of course, a la
DB Cooper.
DB Cooper.
Good thinking.
dummies. No idea. No idea.
So they're gonna pretend they're what? So they're gonna pretend the kids were in the plane with them.
No, No. This is all afterwards. This is their escape. This
So
is
the dummies
planning
are
their
them.
escape. I think so. I think they were like maybe
Parachuting.
going to fake
So
their
like,
deaths.
oh look, so or look, we'll search for them in the forest over whatever Nevada, whatever, a la DB Cooper, and they actually, in truth, are flying to Tahiti, whatever, on their hijacked plane.
Yep.
Okay.
Jim was going to take possession of the money.
Jim is critical to this. Okay.
A state-employed secretary will be employed to bring the money in 3 brown paper parcels and instructed to... Nobody knows. That was it. They didn't finish it.
Oh, okay. So literally it ends on...
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's weird.
So another part of Jim's notebook had these other details of stuff that they had to remember. They had to remember to burn the book. Jim's notebook.
He did not.
They forgot to burn the book.
He's doodling shit. He's doing like a peachy folder from the 70s. He's just...
To get infrared to see at night. They didn't get that.
No. They did not.
This is key. To get a vote for Reagan sticker spelled Regan. They needed the bumper sticker to put on the vans because they thought it would make them more anonymous. People wouldn't think.
Or less likely for a cop to pull them over.
Sure.
I bet you.
Some other things, they were supposed to ask for used bills and then not to spend any of the money for 7 years.
7 years?
How are they going to make their movie if they can't spend the money for 7 years?
Too long.
Or buy a Ferrari?
DB Cooper was the thing where, they always looked for the money, and the treasurer was always looking for the money. So it's not a bad idea.
Yep.
But 7 years is a long time before you make your movie.
Yes. They were also going to get an X-ray truck with gas masks and lead vests.
I don't feel like an X-ray truck is a thing.
I don't either. A microwave oven to foul bugging devices.
Or just have some burritos.
And melt all plastic.
Maybe some nachos, some American cheese on chips. Does it melt all the way? No, but it's still pretty good.
And my favorite? To quote, pick up the money using an illusion like magic.
So this is Now You See It?
I like a David
Jesse
Copperfield
Eisenberg
kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Nobody knows. And also, they didn't learn the magic.
I need to know what the hell that meant.
Mm-hmm.
They learned David Blaine
You're going to have
street
to
magic.
give them a call.
Okay.
No idea. So they were planning this a year in advance. And in the fall of 1975, Fred, James, and Rick in Portola Valley, they're like shooting out cars, figuring out what else they need to do. They had plenty of guns.
Yeah,
They had a ton of guns.
America.
Mm-hmm. They bought 3 surplus shore patrol vans in Alameda, and they moved them to a warehouse in San Jose.
So they spent more money on this scheme than they were ever going to make from it.
Well,
they bought vans, they bought guns, they bought...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Fred's dad happened to own the quarry in Livermore, which is fortuitous, yes.
Okay.
So they went to Fred's dad's quarry and they buried a moving van.
Yeah, so they that's a significant amount of work.
Yeah.
It's a humongous
They
hole.
had to dig a huge hole. Yep.
Damn.
I know.
They need a backhoe for that.
And how did somebody not see them doing that?
Well, it's pretty lonely out there. You've been there. I've been there.
No, but I mean, people are working at this quarry. It's a working,
It was still
concern.
working, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
But anyway, so they buried the van. They cut holes for the vents and holes for the toilets. They reinforced the ceiling with lumber so that it wouldn't collapse. They weren't really looking to kill any kids.
No.
And so by December 1975, they figured they're ready to go. They figured they're going to get $5 million in ransom. They want it delivered to a drop site in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Ed Bates, who I have not talked about before, he is the sheriff of Chowchilla.
Okay.
He actually says this one part of their plan is actually pretty clever. That they going to drive up the coast to someplace heavily wooded and then back inland, and they were going to say, we want airplanes to patrol for 200 miles up and down the coast until they see a certain series of lights indicating where the drop site is for the ransom money.
And an airplane would have to drop the money.
And then
Wow.
And then the airplane would have to drop the money when they saw the lights. And
So you got 200 miles of rugged coast. That's very inaccessible, by the way.
And so the kidnappers would get the money and then they would leave. So by the time the authorities could get somebody there, they would be gone.
The only problem with that is that there are very, very limited ways out of there going from west to east, and you block those two roads. Or even along 200 miles.
But it's 200 miles. You can't literally stake out.
It's less than
fully
you think.
200 miles.
There are very few roads coming out to and from the northern California coast.
I've never been to the Santa Cruz Mountains. But anyway, somebody thought it was clever.
It's as clever as you can do under the circumstances, for sure.
But of course, since the kidnappers forgot to actually write out a finished ransom note,
that's key.
Send it, and they couldn't
With
get
all
a
these
phone
plans.
call in that it never actually happened. They actually buy an X-ray machine from a Navy surplus disposal station in Alameda just in case the ransom money is bugged. And they made homemade bulletproof vests with scrap metal.
I would not trust that, but
yeah. Fred also rented a trailer.
Shoot me.
Fred rented a trailer in Reno to be their little safe house. And he got a passport just for himself under a fake name.
Oh, Fred.
Ralph Snyder.
Fred's going to ditch. I feel like Fred was so ready to ditch these guys with the money.
So, as we said earlier, the police sergeant found the school bus and it was empty. And we also talked about how there were news reporters all over Chowchilla. One of them, when they found the empty school bus, even though good old bus driver Ed Ray was a man of integrity, everybody trusted him, he was well loved and well liked in Chowchilla, some stupid reporter started asking questions about whether good old Ray, could he be involved in this crime? Nobody in town, in Chowchilla, could believe that Ed had any part in this. They thought Ed was as much a victim as the 26 children were.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
And Odessa, Ed's wife, was pissed.
I don't blame her. I'm on Odessa's side.
Me too.
I mean, he's just a normal guy wearing a banana hammock, farming, driving kids on school bus, and people should stop backing on it.
Cut to Livermore.
Okay.
The quarry. Ed and the kids. At this point, they have been underground in the dark for 15 hours.
That is nightmarish.
They're half naked. They're hot as heck, sweating, crying, exhausted, trying to sleep. And I'm pretty sure Ed and the older kids are doing their best to help with the younger kids. I mean, we're not focusing on it, but if you want to, you could read stories and I'm sure listen to podcasts and stuff where
have they talked about it? Have they talked about their experience as kids?
And I'm gonna cry again.
No, don't. I mean, it'd be.
But seriously,
it'd be nightmarish. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway,
they don't know. I mean, they don't know. You probably think that you're going to suffocate in there because I'm sure it's getting increasingly hard to breathe. The oxygen is
and
they don't know. They don't trust. They don't. You can't trust these people to really come back.
Yeah. And they're doing things to kind of help the younger kids to don't cry. Yeah. Because they don't want to use up their oxygen and they're trying to keep everybody as calm as possible.
Like right now, me with you.
Yes.
So, use up our oxygen.
I know.
With you.
Okay. So Ed and two of the older boys, a 14-year-old Mike Marshall and, quote, older boy, 10-year-old. Mm-hmm. This fucking kills me. Robert Gonzalez, the three of them, spent about 5 hours stacking mattresses on top of each other because they got to kind of get to the ceiling so they can try to get out of there.
I see. Well, okay. Did we establish that it was literally just a truck top on, or was it buried?
No, they're buried.
But I mean, is there 5 feet of dirt on top of the truck?
Yeah,
I don't think there is.
know
I
how
think it's-
many feet of dirt, but
Okay.
But like I said earlier, Ed notices the ceiling is bowed and the
Okay.
walls are bowed, so there is weight.
So
There
there's
is
some
dirt. Yes,
layer of dirt. Okay.
correct. And over the opening, they weighted it down with hundreds of pounds of truck batteries. So 14-year-old Mike Marshall, 10-year-old Robert Gonzalez, and 55-year-old Ed Ray, they spent about 5 hours stacking mattresses on top of each other and trying to budge the metal plate. And so they can push they don't even know, I don't think they even know what it is, but it's tractor batteries.
Okay.
And they weigh hundreds of pounds, trying to budge them so they can get through the opening on top. Ed's worried. He doesn't know. Are the kidnappers up there?
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
The truck is buried into the side of something. So the truck's open in the back of the truck.
It's a moving van, but
Yeah,
yeah.
well, same thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The moving van, they open the back. So the ceiling is the top of that. It's solid. There's no opening in the ceiling. So I'm confused.
But they must have cut a hole in it.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see. So they went through the top
top.
down. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought they went through the back of it effectively, and the whole truck was like almost think of a side of a hill.
Yeah.
So it's not. They dug a hole and dropped a moving van into it.
Yes.
And then dug and cut a hole in the top of the moving
Yeah.
van ceiling effectively. Okay.
Yeah. Nothing talked about them cutting the hole, but clearly that's what they did because they had a ladder, remember? And they had to lower them into
Okay.
the.
My bad.
So, like I said, Ed and the older boys are trying to get through the opening on the top. But like I said, Ed's worried that the kidnappers are up
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
They've got guns. He doesn't know what's going to happen, but they've got to try this.
Yeah.
They don't really have a choice. They decide to remove the wooden slats from the bed springs on the mattresses to try to pry open, the opening at the top. It takes them a couple hours, and they're sweaty and hot. And honestly, these boys are flippin' heroes. So eventually they're able to just budget just an inch, maybe teeny tiny bit. They can finally budge that steel plate, and they just see a little bit of the sky.
Is it still? How long has it been? Is it daylight?
15 hours. No, it's
So,
dark.
Yeah, it's still dark. Okay.
Mike sees the plate budge a little bit, maybe he said a half an inch. He could see a little bit of a thin blue light coming through, and then sky and stars.
Mm-hmm.
It's around 8 p.m.
Okay.
On July 16th now, Ed, in his underwear, they get out. They're able to budget and move the batteries. Don't know how they move the batteries, but they probably use maybe the wooden slats or something.
Yeah, some kind of. Okay.
So there
A
they
lever.
are, all in their underwear. They all get out of there. And Ed leads the children down this dirt road to a nearby grain elevator. There happens to be a quarry employee who's just finishing up a welding job, and he sees these kids in the distance, and he pushes an alarm button because he thinks it's trespassers. He doesn't have any idea.
Okay. 26 children.
Well,
yes,
he
he did
didn't-
not pay attention to
I
the
know.
news.
Well, he did know about it.
Okay.
And so Ed, the bus driver, runs over there and he says, "We're the ones from Chowchilla."
Oh, so he just assumed it's a big story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's right.
And so the guy knew about it, and he gave Ed a Pepsi and some coveralls.
Oh my God.
This guy is also a hero. And then Ed and so obviously they call the authorities. They come and get them. Ed and the kids are taken to the Santa Rosa Correctional Institution. Sounds like a jail or a prison. And they're given food, new clothes, and they're kind of, given a little medical checkup to make sure everybody's okay. 4 hours later, 4:00 in the morning, I'm tired just talking about it. They're all put onto a Greyhound bus, and they're taken back to Chowchilla. They pull into the Chowchilla police station. Everybody's there waiting for them.
Aww.
And you can see video of this online. Everybody's cheering. And there's lots of media there.
Okay.
So silly. So anyway, they all come out of the bus. Ed comes out last. And his wife, like I said,
Odessa.
she's flipping pissed off.
At that
Odessa, the
one
bank
reporter.
teller. She's mad that anybody ever suggested that her husband had anything to do with this. And she tells the press there, because of course everybody wants to talk to them. And she says that Ed will, I don't even know how much she talked to Ed before this, but she says, Ed'll talk to you. He'll tell you his story on one condition. You can't ask any questions. And in my mind, she called them motherfuckers.
She probably did. I'm thinking Odessa probably said that.
And they literally have no choice, right?
Yeah.
So they agree to it. So, and you can see Ed telling his story. Like, what a wonderful little man he is. He tells the story and plain old little Ed way of talking.
Okay.
And so, of course, when all this is happening, the Mayor Dumas, is already thinking and making plans for Ed, Ray, and Children's Day there in Chowchilla. And they're going to have a parade and lots of barbecued beef.
Okay. Yeah, the kids love barbecued beef.
Yes. So back to the kidnappers. That night, they bury the kids and the bus driver. They literally don't want anybody to die because they want their $5 million. They go back to Portola Valley. They go back to Fred's house. And I don't know, do they get high? I don't know.
Probably.
They're flipping idiots.
They already forgot to...
They forgot to leave a ransom note.
Yeah.
Like I said, they did try to call.
Yeah.
But all the phone lines are jammed, so they can't get through. And we talked about the woman two mysterious women.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well,
They don't have a woman involved with them.
they have to have known. One of them told a
yes.
girlfriend or something like that.
Something. I don't
100%.
know.
They
It's
they probably never admitted to this day because
never found out who she was.
They're a snitch, quote unquote. But one of them told their girlfriend, talked about it. Remember, they were planning this for
Did
a
they have
year.
girlfriends? Nobody knows. Yeah.
They planned it for a year, so somebody
weird.
told somebody.
But also,
And then when it actually happened, they thought, "Oh shit, my boyfriend Jim, whatever, was talking about doing that." So they called in a tip.
I don't know. The one talking about the quarry, clearly. A quarry in Livermore, yes.
No question, that person knew about it.
But the other one, there will be more.
What was the other one saying? What
saying there will be more.
That's just stupid.
Yeah.
that's meaningless.
That one,
but the
I think,
quarry,
yeah,
that
one
person
was weird.
knew what was happening.
I have never read anywhere saying who anybody thinks she was.
I wonder if the two things. One, it could have been one of the four told their person, and they're not going to admit it because they feel dumb or feel like a snitch. Or two, it was someone who the authorities are keeping that person's identity secret.
Maybe, but now,
Sure.
so many years later,
who's asking anymore? Who knows who she? But back then they kept her identity a secret. It's not written down anywhere. They just kept it a secret.
I don't know. People go back to Chowchilla all the time and ask people about this and talk about it.
I don't know. My guess is somebody's as a girlfriend of one of the kidnappers.
Yeah. So there they are, these master criminals. They have the news on and the radio on. They hear that, the kids escaped.
It's over. Yeah.
Like I said, they probably shit their pants. They knew they needed to get the heck out of Dodge. So Jim and Fred decide to take off to the trailer in Reno, and their plan is to escape to Canada. But little Rick, Jim's little brother, he goes home. He's just going to turn himself in. He knows he's not a master criminal. He can't stand the heat.
Well, they had nylons on.
Yeah.
Why do they assume they'd be easily identified as the kidnappers?
I don't know that they do. Well, because they should figure out that they're going to trace the quarry back to Fred because his father owns that quarry.
He does, but okay, you could bluff that out. Like, I don't know, these monsters chose my quarry.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know.
But let's see. But like I said, Rick Can't handle it. He
Okay.
knows he's going to turn himself in. He basically confesses to his dad, who does what, a rich dad does.
Hires lawyers and says he had affluenza. Okay.
Call a lawyer.
Thanks, assholes.
By the 19th of July, the cops had traced the van to Fred. So Sheriff Bates puts out an APB on the van. The FBI says, "Oh, no, we don't do that. We got to keep it quiet so that, they do their little stuff on the sly and everything." Sheriff Bates says, "No, that's not how I'm going to do it. I'm going to put an APB out on it. We're going to say what we're looking for." And so they find it. By July 22nd, Fred Newhall Woods IV is officially a suspect because they trace the van back to him.
Okay.
And then obviously the quarry, and there's tons of evidence.
Yeah, I suppose
it's not
so.
hard.
The quarry,
to figure it
yes.
out.
No, the quarry, I say no. The vans, yes.
Yeah.
Because he bought those vans surplus, right? So they can trace the purchase of those vans to
Yes.
Frederick. Okay.
And once they do that, the quarry is owned by who?
For sure.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
two things connect, yes. But if all they had was the quarry, that's not nothing. That's not much at all.
True. And it was noted at the time that Fred was arrested along with Jim and Rick Schoenfeld 2 years earlier in 1974 for joyriding.
Huh?
The Hawthorns, the Woods 79-acre estate is raided with search warrants, and reporters and everybody's there. And so the dad, Fred the Third, is there, and they talk to him. Here's what he say: "I can't say if I have one son or 10 sons."
The fuck
What
does
the
that
fuck?
mean?
Exactly. I don't fucking know.
Ah,
But obviously, you did something wrong, Fred the Third, right? We're not the best parents in the world, but our kids aren't plotting any kidnappings.
that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it. Yeah.
I can say for
I wouldn't
sure.
be shocked.
I know where all my children are at this hour, and
Do
none
you?
of them are. Yeah.
Okay.
By the 23rd of July, they found Jim's notebooks with the undelivered ransom note. It was not the most intelligent piece of literature ever written. It had lots of words crossed out, and it looked like it had been written in about 30 seconds. It says, "Your, like you are, bus has been kidnapped." Your bus has been kidnapped.
Carrie's most angry about the grammar.
It also claims that they're members of some satanic group called Beelzebub, also misspelled. And it mentions Fred by name. Not a smart thing to do.
In fairness to them, Beelzebub is a hard word to spell.
No, it's not.
It's not easy. Of course, they went to the satanic. How many things have been blamed on Satanists which don't exist?
Yeah.
In any real sense.
Well, aren't we just beginning with the satanic panic at this point too? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody knows now who they're searching for. Fred Woods IV and Jim and Rick Schoenfeld. The next day, Rick Schoenfeld just can't stand the heat. He's riddled with guilt.
None of these bitches can stand any heat.
He's already confessed to his father. He surrendered in Oakland with his dad and his lawyer present.
Of course.
And after the kids had escaped, Fred and Jim, like I said, had driven to the safe house, which was a trailer in Reno. And then Fred, using his fake, Snyder passport, he flew to Vancouver, leaving Jim behind because he didn't have a fake passport.
I always knew Fred was going to do that.
And Jim was kind of scrambling. He didn't know what to do. So he went to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, because it's close to a border crossing.
Founded the Idaho Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah. Well, on the 18th, he tried to get into Canada, but he was turned away by Border Patrol because he was too nervous. And, of course, his car was full of guns.
Okay.
He went
Wow.
back. Yes. He went back to Coeur d'Alene, and he just was super tired, didn't know what to do. He drove to Spokane, Washington to sell the guns at a sporting goods store, which he did. Then he tried again to enter Canada. He was
And
refused.
First thing he said was, "Hey, I don't have as many guns anymore."
Well, this time because 2 pistols were left in the center console and 2 rifles were in the trunk, supposedly left by Fred, that Jim had somehow missed.
No, you can't not see
when
guns
he was
in your
looking
console.
for guns.
God damn it, Jim.
to get
Fred.
rid of.
Jesus.
So Jim goes back to Coeur d'Alene to get rid of the guns, to sell the guns to somebody. Jim finally decides the jig is up. I can't do this anymore. He decides to go home. He's going to turn himself in. But of course, good old Sheriff Bates has put out an APB on his license plate. So he's pulled over in Atherton, which is close to home, right?
Yeah.
Fred got to Vancouver at 6:00 the Saturday after the kids had escaped, and he checked into the St. Francis Hotel, paid in advance, and asked the hotel manager if he could get some work. Of course, this is...
Does he think Canada's Brazil? Because
I don't-
they will extradite your ass.
So while he's there, he's just kind of doesn't have a lot to do. He's just kind of hanging out. He decides to write a letter to his old film student pal, screenwriter friend David. Tells him that, this whole little caper that he's involved in would make a really good movie of the week, if not like a full-on feature film, right?
100% would.
Quote, "My ending is not exciting enough, so you might have to kill some people or something. If you do make it into a film, all I want is a percentage of it.
Okay.
You make it up. I don't care how much, but be fair." F-A-R-E, fair. They have a spelling problem there.
Again, I feel like you're fixing it on the grammar as opposed to, the crime.
Well, on Friday, there was an FBI tip-off. Plainclothes officers of the RCMP,
Royal Canadian Mounted Police, they all normally dress in big hats, red suits,
red
and then they
things
ride, I
with gold
believe they ride
buttons.
either horses or moose.
well, they staked out the main Vancouver post office because they knew Fred had been sending letters under the name Richard Snyder. So they staked out that post office. They waited and waited. And finally, they sprang into action and they caught 2 German students.
Oh.
Not Fred. They started their little stakeout again. Eventually, they saw Fred, who came in to check his mail. He didn't get any mail. Nobody was sending him anything. And then when he turned around to leave,
Mounties.
he walked right into the RCMP.
Both
Dudley
2
Do-Right.
guys on mooses
Yep.
with handcuffs.
All 3 were in a jail in Chowchilla. What do you think the good folk of Chowchilla were doing?
Lynched them?
Well, they were thinking about it.
Really?
Yep. They formed a little group. They appointed one guy, their little spokesperson. That little guy, nobody will ever know his name.
That little guy, okay.
Went to the sheriff,
Said,
Ed Bates.
Just let us open the prison door,
Said,
walk
well,
away.
They went and talked to Ed Bates and they said, "What would you do if some of us came into your jail and took those 3 guys out and hung them?"
Wow. This is
It's like,
1976.
you don't play your hand. You just why?
No.
Why you don't tip them off right before you do it?
So you're trying to
No,
help lynch her?
absolutely
Okay.
not,
Just
because I'm even
sounded
against
like
the death
it, but
penalty. Sheriff Ed Bates,
said, I will shoot you in the face.
to his credit, said, "I'm sorry, I'd have to kill you. Nobody's taking these prisoners out of this jail except by lawful authority."
Good for Ed.
Good for Ed. He is a cowboy sheriff. He was. He wore
Okay, I believe you. but-
boots and hat and everything. And he was tough on crime. I only like him in this instance. I probably wouldn't like him otherwise. Later that night,
You don't like tough on crime? You like soft on crime?
trust me, we don't like him that. But
Yeah.
later that night, somebody, in quotes,
Carries in air quotes. But by the way, the worst air quotes ever. There. Those are drunk air
we're
quotes.
not on video. It doesn't matter. You're the one who keeps making me drinks and bringing them over here.
That's another cocktail.
Okay, later that night, someone drove by the jail and shot out all the windows.
Wow.
But Fred, Jim, and Rick, they're fine. Obviously, there's going to be a trial.
Yeah.
They've been charged. Literally 4,000 pieces of evidence
Yeah. So
against these
they're
guys.
done.
Yes, not master criminals.
Okay.
July 25th, 1977, Fred Woods and Jimmy Rick Schoenfeld pled guilty
Nice.
to 27 counts of kidnapping for ransom. This is the important part, without inflicting bodily injury.
Okay.
They reversed their initial pleas. Initially, they were probably pleading not guilty. And I'm assuming they all had super high price lawyers.
I'm sure they did.
But so in exchange for them pleading guilty to those counts, the prosecution dropped 18 counts of armed robbery. I'm not sure about that. But there were 5 charges of kidnapping with bodily harm. That crime carried a mandatory sentence of life without the possibility of parole in California. And to that crime, all 3 pled not guilty. So they had to go to trial. They waived their right to a jury trial.
Yeah.
So this was just going before a judge. The trial was in Oakland. As one would imagine, there was intense media attention to this trial. The trial ended on December 15th, 1977. The judge softly said that the children's testimony was pretty much enough that he needed to hear. He said the level of terror they survived constituted bodily harm.
For sure.
So this basically meant parole would be out of the question for these guys, right? Well, eventually, like I said, they all had great lawyers who did appeal after appeal after appeal. Eventually, those bodily harm charges were overturned.
Jeez.
They all became eligible for parole. The Schoenfeld brothers were treated differently than Fred because Fred was the ringleader, right? So they were both eventually paroled. Rick probably in 2012 and Jim in 2015. They've never talked about the case.
Wow.
Ever since then.
We're going to see if we can change that.
Fred was denied parole more than 15 times. His parents died while he was in prison, left him their flippin' fortune.
Oh, hundreds of millions.
He has been married 4 times.
What? What is he, Richard Ramirez? 4 times. He's been married and divorced.
Yes.
Multiple times. Okay, that's weird.
He's also been able to run a used car dealership in Tehachapi.
No, stop it, America.
And
Don't allow this to happen.
And a Christmas tree lot in the Bay Area, all from his prison cell.
Oh, my God.
And he keeps getting caught with pornography and cell phones.
Well,
he shouldn't have a cell phone. Anyway, and he also managed to buy a mansion on the coast.
Carrie's angry about cell phones and grammar of the kidnapping notes.
As of March 2022, his parole has been approved.
What the fuck? Well, how old is he?
He was 24 and 76. Do the math. I
I'm
cannot.
not
You've given me
math.
too many
I've had a lot of
beverages.
cocktails. I'm not going to do that math.
So
Wait, hold on. 24,
Wait.
22, 46,
Okay,
46,
I was
48.
10.
He's like in his late 60s.
And he was 24, so he's 14 years older than me.
I can't do that. I can't tell people how old you are.
How old am I?
I don't know how old you are.
50-something.
I think you're 30. Oh.
I think I'm 56.
34? I'm going to say 35.
Plus 40, he's 70.
I want to say 17.
He's 70.
Wait, that's gross. I want to say.
I'm proud of myself. I did the math. He's 70.
Okay, 70 years old.
I don't know if he's out yet or not. I was
sure
not
hope
able
not.
to find any information.
I
A
didn't see the
movie
dark.
was eventually made of this.
I don't remember that movie. What was it called?
I don't know what it was called. Guess who played Ed?
I have no idea. Who? Gary's scratching her nose for some reason. Like that's a hint.
Carl Malden.
Okay, that doesn't help.
Oh my God, Carl
No, but
Malden
scratching your
has the
nose. No,
biggest-
he has a giant
I didn't
nose.
scratch it. I
No,
just
a
tweaked
giant.
it.
He has the
I was
nose
putting my
that's the
fingers on
size
it.
of Venus. I'm not denying that, but
And everybody in Chowchilla hated the movie, primarily because it was filmed in Topeka, Kansas. A lot of the information that I have here came from a very good Vox article.
well, thank you, Carrie, for bringing us the story of the Chowchilla. We're going to call it the Thrilla and Chowchilla.
No, we're not.
We're not going to call it that. Until next time, thank you for listening.